Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors, your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. Glad you're here on this chilly morning. We've sure had some cold weather in January, and but I tell you what, we talk about in July, you're going to be wishing we had this cold weather. So, just enjoy the cold weather and enjoy the warm weather. And nothing we can complain about to make it change or anything like that. So just relax, have a cup of coffee, enjoy Panhandle Outdoors, and deal with the weather. Speaking of weather, brought to us by Haney Technical Center at the corner of Baldwin Road and Highway 77. Today's high, 59. Low in the morning, 27, and I'll be in a tree stand. I'll actually be in a ground blind on St. Vincent Island, so I guess you can go ahead and feel sorry for me, but I won't be complaining, I promise. Let's take a look at our river readings. The Apalachicola of Bluntstown, it's been high now for about 2 weeks. It's still leveling off, but it is still high. It is at 12.6, a good reading there. It's got a slow, steady drop to it. The Choctawhatchee at Caryville, really smooth there. Like I said, we don't have a dam up that river system, so it's pretty natural. It's 8.4 and got a slow, steady drop to it right there. Okay? Now, a tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn Funeral Home and Cemetery, and they just do a great job in a situation when we need them. Their motto is when carrying counts. Our tide today, we're looking at a low tide at 3:57 this morning and a high tide at 3:09 p.m. So today is the 23rd of January, and we have a neap tides, but coming up on Saturday now we're going to get some good tides coming back. Okay? Now, once a week we like to call down to, on the east end of a viewing area, all the counties down there, Franklin and Calhoun and Guff and all of them down there do so much fishing and hunting. We like, Blue Water Outriggers, our big sponsor down there, and we'd like to get a live report from Captain Blair Morgan. Good morning, Blair.
Good morning, Winston. How you doing?
But it's cold up here.
Yeah, it is. My temperature gauge says it's 25 up here.
Okay, you're right in the middle of Tate's Hill, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Well, tell us what's going on down there.
Well, as far as fishing, Winston, we're in that winter mode where all the fish are up in the creeks and the rivers and all. They pretty much all moved out of the bay now, especially with this other blast of cold weather we're going to have here for about another week. I mean,
right.
That's where the fish are. And hunting-wise, we still have a couple more weeks of general gun season on public land up here. And the rut really hasn't kicked in full blast yet up here. We just seem like it's a little late right now. But it ought to be happening.
Okay.
But I'll tell you one thing, we got the ducks this year as far as out in the bay. I mean, there's thousands of ducks. And I'm sure the weather up north has all the lakes frozen over up there, and they have to come down here to find some water to swim in.
Well, we were talking about that. We have the same situation here, just a lot of ducks, and I think all throughout the Panhandle, we just had an explosion of ducks and all, and our hunters have really had a banner year on it.
Yeah, normally I don't even hear any shooting on the St. Joe Bay, but I mean, I wake up some morning and they just blasted them out there. And there's there's unreal amounts over here around Little St. George Island, over in the Apalachicola Bay. They're just everywhere. Got a bunch of bluebills, redheads, some canvasbacks, and just a mixture of ducks.
All right. Well, Blair, that sounds good. You enjoy yourself up there. I know you're at your hunting lodge right now, so I know the buddies are probably out there waiting for you all to go, right?
Yeah, we're going to wait and let it warm up a little bit, then we're going to go get at it.
All right, buddy. You have a great hunt and appreciate the report.
Yeah, and have fun on the island this weekend.
All right. We sure will, Blair. All right.
Okay.
Thank you now. All right, Captain Blair Morgan reporting for Blue Water Outriggers. Okay, let's take our first break, and we'll be right back. All right, folks, welcome back. Glad you're with us this morning. I'm trying to get set up here for our pictures. I got some good pictures I want to share with you, so we're going to see if we can get set up. Meanwhile, a couple of things. The Biophilia Center now on February the 1st, they're having a big show on archaeology. I think I have that posted right down in here. Let me see. Got it here. Y'all hang in there with me. Okay, I don't think. Okay, here it is. Let's see. Let me cancel this. Let me just show this picture right. Let's start with just some fishing pictures, okay? The Taylor family over there in Callaway, they've had a good year in hunting and fishing. This is from Chad Taylor and Heather Taylor. Winston, a few weeks ago, we saw you and Bill Allen fishing at Bob Jones Cutoff, so my brother Sam Taylor and I decided to take a fishing trip to the lower end. The tide was going out, and we had our limit in trout in just about a few hours. Then we got in a school of redfish. After that, we tried bass fishing and caught 2 bass. Here's our pictures. Also pictures of our duck hunt on Saturday. Enjoy your show, Chad Taylor. So we're going to go through a couple of pictures here. There's the ducks they went. That's the Taylor family over there. They were avid watchers of our show. We had ducks and all. Okay, good job there. Chad, thanks for sharing those pictures with our viewers this morning. Okay, and there's those fish. That was a good, I'm going to tell Bill Allen, we were a good influence on these young people. All right, there you go again. All right, check out this guy, Mayor Greg Brudnicki. Y'all know Greg has been on the show before. He and Bill Allen down at Apalachicola last week. And Greg and Bill caught some nice fish, nice redfish there. All right, right there at the mouth. Here, and y'all know Greg's dad, Mike Brudnicki. He's fishing with Bill, and they're not a great. I love to see, he's 88 years old now, still catching fish. Good job there. Okay. All right, now let me go back to the pictures. I've got let's see, here's an announcement I'm talking about right here. At the Biofeeder Center on Highway 20. That'll be on February 1st. They have archaeology for kids. So I know that's a week away, but go ahead and plan it. It'll be from 10 o'clock to 3 o'clock there. All right? So be aware of that. Okay, now, we're going to, I have more pictures and all, but when I get back, I'm going to show them to you. Right now, we're going to take a break. We have a special guest here in the studio, but before we do, now remember, be safe out there. And if you have any contributions or anything you want to do to help young lady that had an accident, a shooting accident the other day, call Brian Revere. He's a principal at Vernon High School. She was a 9th grader at Vernon High School, and if you need any information on trying to help the family in any way, go ahead and call over there and see what you can do, okay? Now, we're going to take our break, and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back, folks, and welcome to our guest, Bill Price. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, glad to have Bill Price here. I've known Bill a while. Had his students, his kids, one of his sons in my class now, and then I had Adrian in there the last 2 years ago.
That's right. So we got more coming.
I got more coming, so that keeps me in a job, so we appreciate it. Bill's a local attorney here, and tell the folks a little bit about your background and all. I know you sort of had a military background growing up and all.
I did. After high school, I joined the Army and spent a lot of time out in the woods, in the field artillery, and it's appropriately named because you're going to spend a lot of time in the field. and then I became an officer and did a stint around the globe, doing whatever they asked me to do, and then I went to law school and became an attorney, and here I am. And my biggest fight right now is against British Petroleum and all the damage that they caused.
Okay, that's where we come in as outdoorsmen and all, because as you know, this has been ongoing for some time, and you hear so much information, what to believe, what not to believe, and all, and we just don't really know. So I asked Bill. I know Bill. I asked him to sort of come on and explain, give us a little bit of background on the BP case and how it affects the outdoorsmen in our area, and also. What about a background of what? We all know how it started and all, but then it was tough.
Well, for about a year after the oil spill, several attorneys worked with the BP attorneys to come up with a settlement agreement that would come as close as they could to compensating all the victims. And that's what's in front of me right here. It's about this is about 1,200 pages of an agreement, and in it there is a provision for even the recreational fishermen, and a lot of people were just unable to hunt or fish, or excuse me, not so much hunting, but fish for about a good year after the oil spill. Both federal waters were closed, state waters went through a lot of cleanup, local waters were blocked off, and it was just it was just difficult. And even if you did catch something, I don't know if you want to eat it.
Yeah. I was scared. Seriously, I was scared to eat much right after that, because I know what that can do, the damage and all. And I just I sort of laid off the seafood for a while.
Well, you don't want to eat the chemicals that they sprayed on all that oil.
Oh,
so
no.
Anyway, so you can get compensated for your loss of fishing for that year. Not so much for your loss of enjoyment. Because that's hard to calculate. We know that's priceless, especially with your family. But you can get compensated for the pounds of fish that you would catch in the course of that year, and that can be a lot for some families.
Okay, so what has happened though? This has been such an ongoing process, and I guess appeals and all that, and so. I know this happened how many years ago now?
Well, we're going on 4 years.
4 years ago,
and we just got a ruling from the Fifth Federal Circuit that says that this settlement agreement is valid, and we anticipate BP will probably appeal to the Supreme Court of the United States. And after the last appeal, the deadline becomes 6 months later.
Okay.
So we are currently, if they don't appeal to the Supreme Court of the United States, our deadline for filing those claims is 6 months from now. But we think that'll be extended.
So anywhere along the coast system here in Florida, or I guess anywhere and all, of course, I see these ads pop up on TV about these attorneys I've never heard of that want to. And you folks know me. We always talk about shopping locally and using local people and all. And that's why I want a bill to come on. If you're thinking of something like this, I would recommend that you keep it local and all. Because some of these other firms, I'm not saying they're bad people or anything, but I just rather deal locally myself.
Well, you can put a face on your lawyer that way, and you can call my office, and you can come by my office, and my clients know me, and it's hard to keep up with 1,000 people, but and it's going to be harder to keep up with 1,000 more after your viewers see this.
Yeah.
But we're doing it, and although we're not seeing the results of this settlement agreement because BP's been fighting it all the way.
Right.
We do have it. It is valid. It's been ruled valid, and so we're going to get some traction on this thing and get them paid.
Well, this sounds good. Now, so what people need to do, if they went through that first year afterwards, all that damage and all, and if you didn't get to go out and fish on weekends, and I was telling you before the show, there's guys and girls out there that fish every weekend. I can call out some of your names because I know you. Plus, some of the people I didn't know, y'all started sending me pictures. I started getting them like every Monday morning. I'd have pictures to show. So and some people it's hard to believe for other people, but I believe it. You fish every weekend, and it's just part of your life.
Well, and it can be a substantial amount of food too.
Yes.
A freezer full of food can be thousands and thousands of dollars, and it can be compensated in this. And now, not everybody in your house has to have a fishing license for this to be valid.
Okay.
They just have to partake in the catch.
Okay.
So if Coach Winston brought home 1,000 pounds of grouper, God bless him, and in 2009, but he did not bring home that catch in 2010, then it's payable under this settlement agreement.
And that's all legitimate and all honest. Just keeping up with your family and all.
Well, that's right. And all we need is a Social Security number, a fishing license, and your driver's license, and the names of the people in the house.
The old timers when you mentioned about putting food in the freezer and deer and all and fish and all. My dad did that, and I remember that was like a gold mine. Our freezer was like a gold mine to my dad because anywhere from squirrels to everything. He was just, and we would eat as a kid. We would eat that stuff. And I don't eat much squirrel anymore. We've eaten a lot of fish over the years. I remember telling my mom one time that if the house burned down, don't worry about the clothes or anything. We just got to get that freezer outside. I remember that. I always remember him talking about that. But that's how important it is here in the Panhandle. Your freezer full of fish and all. So it's a big deal.
Well, it is, and it's written up in here as such. It's a big deal.
Yeah. Okay, folks, let's go ahead and close out this segment. We'll take our last break, and then we'll come back and talk a little bit more with Bill Price. All All right, welcome back. So here with Bill Price, a local attorney that's sort of helping folks out with this BP settlement claim. Before we get back to Bill, let's go and look at our fish and game forecast for today. Brought to us by Mark Coward of Edgewater Beach Realty. Mark's number is 832-6000, and 2 hours in the morning are going to be from 5:01 to 7:01. I don't know how they got an extra minute there, but 5:01 to 7:01 this morning, and this evening 5:25 to 7:25. So I'm going to really, you know, when I'm down at St. Vincent Island next couple of mornings and afternoons, I'm really going to adhere to that. We have a certain period of what they call quiet time where you cannot move around on the island, so you have to be planted in your tree stand, or we're going to do a ground blind. So that's going to sort of coincide well with what we're trying to do. So we're looking forward to it. So. And we'll have some video. Hopefully we'll have some video. We're going to do a video even if we don't get a deer or a hog. We want to do a video of hunting on St. Vincent Island. So we'll have that for you next week. Meanwhile, Bill Adams is going to be on the next couple of days. He'll have, I think, Greg Brudnick will be with him one day, and Matt Smith maybe, and they have all kind of, you know, I've been hitting hunting really hard in January. I always do. So Bill's sort of going to give us some fishing perspective. So that'll sort of balance out Panhandle Outdoors. All right, let's go ahead. I got an entrance here from Freedom Malik. They come down, and your husband, they come down every year from Maine. And they stay down at White City, and they watch our show religiously, and we appreciate it for you and hope you win something. I think you won something last year. All right. Now, let's get back to our, I'm looking at the size of this book. That's just the ruling on this case here?
Well, this is just the settlement. There's going to be a lot of rulings that came in. This ruling came in this week. It's about 60 pages. I'm sure we'll get a few more, but this is just the agreement that says, we as BP agree to pay certain types of claims for the damage we caused.
Who reads all that?
Well, me. I read it because there's a lot of information in there that covers people like you and me, whether you're an outdoorsman or you run a local law firm. Either way, or a television station. You know, either way. You were affected, and there's a way to calculate your losses in this agreement. So that's why it's so big. It's very comprehensive.
Okay, so let's first a couple of things now. We're going to put your phone number here on the screen. Jeff's going to take care of that. And so if people want to get a hold of you, and we have viewers in in 9 counties and a lot of outdoorsmen. So if they want to get a hold of you, call your number, sure. And then you'll. Somebody at your office will tell them sort of what they need to do about filling out some forms and all that.
That's what it's all about, the paperwork.
Okay, and we're going to understand how to do that. And then, so eligible is anyone who, tell us about eligibility.
Well, it's not complicated. If you had a fishing license, a recreational fishing license that you would fish on up to the time of the oil spill in April of 2010, then you're eligible because everything that you would have caught after the oil spill is what I call recompensable. You can be compensated for that. So, and it doesn't require that everybody in the house has a fishing license. It just requires that the person that was going to go out and get the catch has a fishing license. And so, every other person in the household will be listed with their birthday and social security number so that BP can verify that they're not making multiple claims.
Yeah.
And then, when this thing all comes to a head and finalizes, we can get them all paid.
Okay, and like I say, the timeline now, you were talking about they're probably going to appeal. And so you still have, but right now, if they don't appeal, we've got a short period of time, you say?
Well, right. This ruling that came out this past week from the Court of Appeals, it started the latest timeline. The agreement says that the deadline would be April of 2014 or 6 months after the last appeal. So the deadline is currently 6 months from now, and when they appeal to the Supreme Court, it'll be another 6 months.
Now, you and I, sometimes we see each other up at Fusion working out and all. He's one of my workout partners, but you were talking about, can we say the net worth of BP on air? I mean, is it public knowledge? British Petroleum is worth about how many billions or something?
Well,
I remember when you told me that, I was just shocked.
Well, it's a big company. It's the public disclosures. It's a publicly traded company, and so it is public information. It's anywhere from 180 180 to 200 billion dollars. That's a big company.
Yeah.
So they're not likely to go broke because you put in a $10,000 claim.
Yeah, I can understand that, and I never will forget the feeling of when I first saw that oil spewing out in the Gulf of Mexico, on TV and all. I was almost sick to my stomach, because I just saw it and I said, well, sure they're going to stop it tonight, or maybe then the next day comes and said, well, they're going to stop it, and I was sick, really.
I remember when it happened, when it really affected me most was Father's Day weekend. I was at the beach. My kids and I were at Seaside, and it just came in. It just came in on the beach, and we just stood there and thought, our whole reason for living here on the Gulf Coast just went away.
Yeah.
I mean, in one big oil spill, we just thought, there's no reason to live here if they're going to dump oil on us, and then it got worse when they started spraying chemicals on the oil.
Oh, I know. I started saying when they did that, I said, what are they doing? And I just said, what are they thinking?
The oil is a naturally, it's a natural substance that comes out of the ground, and when you spray that chemical on it, it becomes severely toxic, and it just killed more wildlife and damaged more people than the oil itself. I mean, the oil was messy, but unbelievable.
Well, Bill, we're going to have to start wrapping things up. I appreciate you getting up this early and coming on Panhandle Outdoors. And,
it's my pleasure. It's like being in the Army again.
Bill beat me here. What was you saying about if you're not on time?
If you're not early, you're late.
Oh, you're not early, you're late. That's a good saying. I need to tell that to my class. But thanks for coming on. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Coach.
Folks, y'all have any questions on this now, give his office a call and get everything straightened out and see what's going on if you're interested in something like this, okay? And I highly recommend Bill, man of integrity. All right? Now, let's go ahead and wrap it up. Thank y'all so much for watching Panhandle Outdoors. Do something good for somebody today, and God bless.
Thanks for joining us for Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors features hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.